Wars, Metoo, and social Jedi warriors. Okay. First of all, I wrote a book 10 years ago called Men Are All Murderers and Women Are All Whores. And it was provocative, clearly. Pissed some people off. I had to tell my grandparents the title, if you can imagine that. Catholic people. I've contributed to misogyny. It was a sarcastic book, but still, I was touching the issue. My new book, I'm going to be doing an audio book of it. It's called The Color Black, and there's a lot of misogyny in it. And I thought of tried to remove all the misogyny. But now, after all the Me Too stuff, I'm putting it all back because now it's rebellious to be misogynistic. So it's kind of cool. It's always good to be provocative. So we think about The Last Jedi, okay? All the uproar from the fans, including myself, about all the women being more powerful than men, women shaming men, the Canto Bite, be nice to animals thing. So I brought it up to a friend of mine who's more intelligent than me, more educated than me. And that says a lot because I'm pretty educated. He goes, I mentioned how The Last Jedi, how women are shaming men and saying like in every instance the men they look like crap and the women look more powerful, or it's an attempt at that. And he made a good point. He says, would it bother you if there was you saw a movie with men shaming women, like where the woman is a ditz? And I go, yeah, I think so. I don't know. But then after thinking about it, it's true. There's been lots and lots of movies where the woman is a ditz. Like a girl in a bikini tossing a beach ball around and acting like an idiot and going, hey, I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm just a girl. Married with children, right? Did that bother me? No, not particularly, right? It's not an issue when men are more, they look better. I mean, it's like every movie from the 80s, women look like crap. So why does it bother me so much to see women shaming men all of a sudden? I think they deserve their day in the sun, really, is the moral of the story. Let them do it. Who cares? They've been shamed. And he goes, women, they're aware of this every day. They see movies all the time where they look like ditzes and idiots. Bimbos. So, it's a bit hypocritical. And then I said, well, but there's this Canto Bite scene because he hasn't seen the movie, of course. I go, there's this Canto Bite thing where they're talking about like being nice to animals, and it's so out of place and all this social politic crap. And he made another good point. He goes, you expect integrity from a big budget movie? And what are you supposed to say to that? Like, no. He goes, political agendas will always be in movies. And it's true. There's always going to be some kind of something being, some attempt. He goes, Transformers, that was the Cold War. That was because I loved the Transformers when I was a kid. But that was a Cold War reaction. It was like about the Russians, and there was always an agenda going on. And then he says, it was a very good point because he watched The Dark Knight Rises 10 years ago, and he goes, I had to turn it off. He goes, I think Batman is fundamentally a terrible character because he's rich, and to make the rich guy the hero is ridiculous. He says, if anything, Bane was the hero. And that's a really good point because I was rooting for Bane the whole time. Everything he was saying was good. Like, yeah, we need to destroy all these, economic constructs, etc. I mean, at the end, I guess, we found out he just wanted to kill everybody. But his argument was sound. And Batman was a rich douche. Right? You're this rich. Why aren't you giving your money to the poor people? But you're living in a big, huge mansion. And you're a hero. So, maybe there is a fundamental problem with Batman in that regard. And I think the solution is you just don't talk about it. If you're a man, you don't talk about it's not fair to men when women do blah, blah, blah. If you're a white person, you don't comment on how oh, you know, I don't like all this anti-white shit. Now a woman can do it, and a black man can do it. Can talk about how this is bullshit. This is getting out of hand. The gospel with Mark with a C, he brought up how he thought it was ridiculous that they were saying that white kids can't dress up like Black Panther for Halloween. He gets to talk about it, but I don't think you can talk about it if. And you know, I got a friend who's German, and I say, how does it feel to, like, you know, be shamed constantly for the Holocaust when you weren't even there? You're you know, that was before your time. And he goes, it's terrible. He goes, I can't watch Schindler's List. I can't watch. It's constant shaming, and you can never say get over it. You can't do it. So basically, if you're German, you can't talk about how it's not fair. And then think about Native Americans. You know, you'll see them. They'll be like drunk and hanging out on the street corner, and often people will say, "Oh my God, look at that! What a loser!" or whatever. But my take is, they had their whole culture obliterated. It was a genocide practically. So you can't put them down for being, you know, down, like feeling sorry for themselves. They have every right to. You just shut the hell up and you let them have their misery, because first of all, we did it, the Europeans. They have every right in the world. This is their country, not ours. Anyway, enough about that. So, if you're going to comment about The Last Jedi, how it was shit, complain about how it was shit because the story sucked. Not because there was women empowerment, not because they were saving animals for half an hour, although it's tempting. No, talk about how Luke was milking a cow. There's plenty of bad shit in The Last Jedi without bashing animal rights or women's rights or any of that stuff. Lando Calrissian being a dog lover, that's not the big problem in Solo. The big problem is nobody wants to see Han Solo's origin. It doesn't matter if Lando's a dog lover. That didn't even come up. There's better things. There's better. Hit them where it hurts. And again, it's the same as Ethan Van Sciver making fun of Rose Tico being portly, and Ryan Johnson having a round head. It's a low blow, and it gives them power, because then they can just say that he's a bully. They can just say that you know, they're making. It didn't help really. I mean, it kind of helped. It got everybody laughing, but at the end of the day, it's about the fact that Last Jedi sucked. It just sucked. It had a terrible plot. It killed Luke. That's what we talk about. So that's about all. Okay. Oh, and do your best to like this and subscribe and share and all of those things, because the more likes I get and whatnot, the more encouraged I am to make future podcasts or whatever you want to call this. Thank you.